2011 final BCS rankings. LSU, Bama, Oklahoma State, Stanford. I forgot about Stanford. Why does Stanford not get any love like Oklahoma State does in 2011? I believe because, let's see, 2011, Stanford did play in the Rose Bowl, and they defeated Wisconsin, correct? Or no, that was Oregon. Oregon, Wisconsin. So Oregon obviously defeated Stanford. That denied Stanford of the Pac-12 championship. Okay, so let's take it from the top. LSU played a murder schedule, and they made their way through it at 13-0. They defeated Bama in the game of the decade, the century, 9-6 in overtime in Tuscaloosa, but had to face the Tide again, of course, in the BCS championship game. So Bama makes the BCS title game at number 2. Did not win the SEC, did not win the division. Oklahoma State, of course, on that infamous Thursday night game at Iowa State after the tragedy, lost that game against a bad Iowa State team. So they had a bad loss. Alabama did not have a bad loss. So on the side of Bama, in terms of an argument, is obviously playing in the best conference and losing to the best team in the country by a field goal in overtime. On the side of Oklahoma State's argument is we're a conference champion. And we already saw LSU and Alabama play. And this isn't baseball, or this is not the NFL where we've got rematches all over the place. If there's a rematch, there's a thought process that we've already seen that game, and there's a ton of other games that we would love to see, and we are denied those games. So why play a rematch? Again, the Stanford-Oregon situation is mighty interesting because Oregon won the Pac-12. They won the head-to-head against Stanford, but Stanford's sitting there as well at 11-1 without a conference championship, much like Bama. We will check out the score of Stanford-Oregon just to catch up with that one. Boise State at 11-1, group of 5 team. We're not going to consider them. If they were undefeated, we would. So, 2011, Bama wins the national championship. Now, correct me here. Oklahoma State and Stanford played in the Fiesta Bowl, and Oklahoma State won that game, correct? Therefore, as a 12-1 football team, along with Bama at 12-1, we've got to look at Oklahoma State as a national champion as well, correct? And then we've got this situation with, okay, Oregon's got 2 losses out. Stanford, well, they lost to Oklahoma State in the Fiesta Bowl. So done. There's your national championship. Alabama, Oklahoma State. And you know what? The way we are sizing these seasons up, these championship games, in a sense, no longer become championship games because they are just another data point on the resume. This is not the NFL where teams play in the regular season and then they play in the playoffs. I know LSU lost to Alabama in the championship game, but should Alabama have even been there? And LSU and Alabama split. And so they both finished. Actually, LSU finished with a better record at 13-1 than Bama's 12-1. So a lot of people aren't going to like this, but LSU should get a share of the national championship. They split 2 games with Alabama, and they had a better record, and they were the SEC champion. So your national championship in 2011 is LSU, Bama, and Oklahoma State.